Mark, you go to an awful lot of networking events.
I do.
Is that important to you and your business?
Yeah, some people do call me Mr. Networking. It is important to me and my business because it comes back to what we were saying earlier about why people should use me. And there are two good ways of generating new clients. One is from when they have a first-hand experience of you, and the other is if they have a second-hand experience of you. And to tell you what I mean by that, that's really about the different types of networking, one of which I perceive as in-depth, and the other is much more what I call grazing. As far as in-depth goes, there are a number of organisations. There's Referon, there's BRX, BRE, BNI, there's anything with a three-letter acronym, and those groups are groups that meet once a week, and you develop a deep relationship with those people so they understand your business. And although you'll be very happy if they spend money with you, that's not the objective. The objective is to sell through them to their contacts, so because they grow to know you and hopefully like you and hopefully trust you, and probably from using your services as well, they're then very happy to refer you on to somebody that they know. So that's sort of more the in-depth and the second level of networking. The other style, I suppose, Business Biscotti is the most popular one around, but there are other networking.
They're just like social networking. The other ones
Absolutely.
you were described are, in a lot of cases, you have to refer a bit of business to your fellow.
There are varying levels of having to, but yes.
Yeah.
And I should emphasise, when you say social networking, it's business networking, but a much more social environment. It's turn up when you fancy, it's leave when you fancy. There's no 60-second pitch. There's no speaker. You, as I said, you graze, you chat with people. If it's not much of a conversation because you're listening carefully more than you're talking, of course, and actually this person's never going to buy anything from me, you smile sweetly and move on, which can sometimes, ending a conversation can sometimes be much, much harder than starting it.
And is your 60-second pitch, is that important to you?
Oh, critical. Certainly for when I go to any events where there is the opportunity to do that, because that's where everybody in the room is quiet. Everybody in the room is listening to you, and you've got 60 seconds to say, this is why you need to grab me after the meeting and say, Mark, we need to sit down and have a coffee. And that's my main sales technique, is networking either with or without a 60-second pitch, so that people think, I need to know a bit more about this guy. And when they sit down with me for an hour at a local hostelry or hotel or whatever it may be, coffee shop more often than not, I take that opportunity not to sell to them. It's not a 1-hour sales pitch. What I do is I do my job. I am the enterprise doctor, and at the end, or later in the day, I send them an email that says, we talked about this, and we recommended that, and that. And with my tongue slightly in my cheek, I say, if we achieve that in an hour, what do you think we could achieve in a day? And that's my sales technique. There you go, my secret's out. It's no secret. Plenty of people do it that way.
But also, I know the golden rule of some networking is that it's not a sales pitch. You've got to sort of just get to know people.
Correct, absolutely. And it comes back to the listen or talk. I spend much more time at networking events listening to people. I ask them about their business. My favourite question is, what's your biggest challenge at the moment? Because that then straight away points towards areas where I could potentially be of help. And if at some point in the conversation they say, and how about you? That's when I pick up on, again, I try not to talk about me. I pick up on the bit that, let's talk a bit more about that, and I talk perhaps about some experience I've had helping other people with that kind of problem. And it's not an underhand, salesy kind of thing. It's actually potentially to the benefit of both of us to explore where I can be helpful. And as I said earlier, if I can't be helpful, well, what a good way of ending the conversation, and actually we can both invest our time better talking to somebody else.